with the GoPro, but luckily enough we have an iPhone to save the day. Anyway, that means I'm going to have to steer one-handed in the wet and the fog. I'm driving a Sirocco, and that is indicative of traction today. There is none. It is absolutely amazing, and the track is in pristine condition, but covered in water and fog and lunatics like this guy who's driving around with a flag. The rules are pretty simple. Stay left, or sorry, stay right if you're overtaking. Stay right if you're being overtaken. Otherwise, the road is yours and you let people overtake as you wish. This is part of the Grand Prix track, just tipping it in there. What you can hear is a bit of oversteer, the traction control going mad. As you can see, visibility can be restricted in some areas. It's a bit foggy, losing a bit of the front end just then. The car's amazing. Didn't rate the Sirocco until now. Would probably get one if I was looking for a track car. This is about 160 kilometers an hour at the moment. I'm trying to focus on the wheel and not so much on the speed. It is a, as you can see, bit of an art without killing yourself to drive one-handed around the Nurburgring in the wet, and while it's foggy as well. Lost a bit of the back end then. Still okay, still alive. That's the important thing. Had a couple of deer jump over on an earlier lap, which made things a little interesting, as you can appreciate. This is the big long straight. This is where we can really give the Sirocco its head. Bit of water starting to appear on the track. I've had traction control problems going through there the last couple of times, where when I've got both hands on the steering wheel and I can really let rip, it has completely lost traction at about 200 kilometers an hour. So earlier this morning, warmed up on the Autobahn coming down from Frankfurt. When I say warmed up, I am just being overtaken by a Porsche GTS. Yeah, very nice. That's a ring taxi. All that happened at about 180. Great fun. I don't know whether he's shaking his head at me holding the camera or not, but bugger it. Couple of amazing corners about to come up. This is one of the tougher ones for a front wheel drive car, off camber, really hard to get the front end stuck in. Coming down through the trees here, absolutely beautiful. That Porsche Panamera GTS is just blowing me away. Obviously a ring taxi guy, drives here all the time. Just touching 180 there. Sorry if it's a bit wobbly, isn't as stiff as it should be. In the wet with a front wheel drive car, very difficult to get it stuck. Finding it very hard to tip it in. Love watching the guys taking photographs in the corners, hoping I'm not embarrassing myself too much. Mind you, they're probably ringing up the guys on the finish line to say, don't let that prick through again. He's driving one-handed with a camera in the other. I've overcooked this corner a couple of times. Almost did it then. The track is absolutely beautiful. There's an accident up here that I'm coming up on that I passed in the last lap. Someone's had a problem. Not sure what the nature of the problem was, but looked like there were two people in the car coming up on a little BMW that shouldn't be here, and looks like a Ford one is. Now he should be any second now getting over to his right so he can get out of my way like that. Very, very courteous. Really hoping I don't run out of battery for this. The last time I was here, it was dry, but it was freezing, and it was really hard to keep your brakes and your tyres hot so you had traction. This time around, I've got the same problem, except it's as slippery as all buggery, and I've got a couple of Ford Focuses here that are going to slow me down. It was struggling for traction. Same problem I've got. He's a learner like me. You can tell us learners, we haven't got the heart for it that some of the other guys have got. Another fast guy coming through, about to overtake me, losing the front end. Not an ideal time. Oh, he's a learner because he's got an ally. He's driving a Renault Megane. This is all very quick through here, but as you can see, very wet. Just a tick over 150 at the moment. Can really start to let it loose through here in the dry. I'm going to brake a bit there, but I've topped 200 here on the last couple of passes. Just nudging 180 there, 190. Not a good day for 200 one-handed. Coming up on another slower car. Looks like a little BMW in the fog. I'm hoping I get to Carousel and you'll get a feeling for how rough it is, how hard it is to go through this corner with any speed. It's the most incredible corner I've ever driven. It's just got so much going on. Coming up to it now. Not this specific corner, but we're leading up to it. The Megane came out of nowhere, didn't see him, hasn't got his lights on. Now we're in Carousel. The secret is to look way up there, not immediately in front of you. Get the engine noise on the video. That's a little 4-cylinder turbo, but they've taken 500 kilos out of the car, and it's absolutely fantastic. Really easy to tip in, even with equal talent behind the wheel. That Megane should drive away from me pretty quickly. Got an incredible front end. Here's the waving of yellow flags. Watch out for our accident here. Looks like everyone's okay. Very safety conscious at the track, which is good. Makes you feel like you're in good hands if something bad happens. Oh, overcooked that corner just a bit. Just driving with the right arm resting on the steering wheel, letting it slide below the camera at the moment. This is where everyone else photographs everyone coming through, watching people kill themselves. I'm yet to kind of get this corner right. I think I can say that quite confidently about all the corners, to be honest. Just so hard when it's wet. My 7th lap today. Sorry, 8th lap. I good run. Wasn't as much rain, wasn't as wet, wasn't as foggy, and I hadn't scared myself at that stage. So I've had a couple of moments since where it's gotten a little hairy, which has taken maybe a little bit of the wind out of my sails. As fearless as I normally am behind the wheel of a car, this thing at 230 doesn't feel like it's got as much, doesn't feel like it's got enough downforce to keep it all under control. Nearing the end of the lap now, coming up on, so just over 11 minutes. Which will give me an idea of when Jeremy Clarkson did it in 10 minutes in a transit van. That was very, very impressive. And believe it or not, they have transit vans on track running around. There's the 19-kilometre mark of the 20k lap on this course. It's called the tourist version of the course, and it's just amazing, and it feels anything like it. Here we come up to the finish line. See if we can get under 12 minutes.